Good. How y'all doing this afternoon? Press is all ready? Get okay from y'all? All right. Well, good afternoon. I'd like to first start off by introducing the GOSEP team that joins me up here. Of course, we've got our GOSEP director, Jacques Thibodeau, Colonel Robert Hodges from the Louisiana State Police, Adjutant General Thomas Freelo from Louisiana National Guard, Secretary of Health, former Congressman Ralph Abraham, and Executive Secretary of the Louisiana Public Service Commission, Brandon Fry. Unfortunately, today marks the 11th severe weather event that GOSEP has had to respond to for the citizens of this state. This team has been working extremely hard as we deal with these spring weather events and prepare for what we're praying for is going to be a calm hurricane season. But I want to first begin by thanking our first responders, the police officers, the sheriff's deputies, and especially the firemen who last night did a considerable amount of the road, of the clearing of debris on the roadside. So a big shout out goes to our volunteer and on duty firemen as well. And of course, we want to thank the paramedics that treated those that were injured during the weather event that was upon us yesterday afternoon and throughout the night. And then, of course, we want to thank all of the linemen and those that are working throughout the night and throughout the day to restore our power. And we'll have an update on that as well. I think it's important for everyone in the state to understand exactly what happened yesterday. Yesterday afternoon, a storm system started moving. It crossed into Louisiana at the Texas border along I-10 and immediately began affecting the parishes of Calcasieu, Beauregard, and Allen Parish and Jeff Davis. As it moved from west to east, another storm system moved from the Gulf of Mexico north through Vermilion Bay, and both systems converged somewhere around St. Martin Parish. The convergence of those two systems caused the storm to grow in both intensity and size. It then began affecting both St. Martin Parish, Iberville Parish, Point Capee, West Baton Rouge, East Feliciana, and Livingston parishes. As these storm systems collided or converged and this event unfolded, the system became both dangerous and deadly. At all times, the state's warning system was in place and weather alerts went out. I would like to now introduce the Secretary of Health, former Congressman Ralph Abraham, to discuss the fatalities and the injuries that were reported. Ralph.
Thank you, Governor. There were two fatalities in West Baton Rouge Parish. A young lady that was pregnant with a 9-month-old child. There was a fatality, also female, in St. Martin Parish. That on the non-fatality side, there was a tour bus that got blown over around Henderson, but we're told that there were no major significant injuries from that. Thank you.
I would now like to introduce GOSEP Director Jacques Thibodeau to discuss the timeline of the system as it moved through the state and also the power outages.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Okay, this was a very, very quick moving system. Basically, we had the first tornado warning come out for Calcasieu at 4:23 yesterday, and it impacted the parish itself. Then, very shortly after that, we had additional warnings about 20 minutes later in Jeff Davison Parish, Calcasieu Parish, at about 4:49, and then we had Cameron. As you fast forward to 5:30, Jefferson Davis and Acadia began to have tornado warnings in the process, and then when the other system came in the Vermilion area, Vermilion Bay, at 6:06, Lafayette, Acadia, St. Martin began to have tornado warnings. So that's where the convergence occurred, right around 6:08. At 6:30, we really saw the effects of what we faced. And then it began to move east, Point Capee, West Baton Rouge, Iberville at 6:36. Very quickly, more tornado warnings in St. Martin, Iberville, West Baton Rouge, Point Capee, and Iberville. And then we began to get all the east side of Baton Rouge at 7:11 with Ascension, Livingston, Iberville, and East Baton Rouge. The final warning was actually in St. John and Tangipahoa at 9 o'clock, and we got an all clear at 11:47 last night. So in the span of 7.5 hours, the after effects are 16 parishes have been impacted by this weather system, and we had the maximum amount of power outages was 160,000. Thanks to all the utility companies, we're down to 53,000, and it continues to get better every hour. But this was a very quick moving system, and when it combined with the other one, it became a very dangerous system that affected all of these parishes on the I-10 corridor.
Currently, the National Weather Service is assessing the affected areas to determine whether the damage was caused by either straight line winds or tornadic activity. We, as Jacques said, are working with all 16 affected parishes and their OEPs so that we can get the resources needed to those affected parishes and those that were affected the most. We would again urge any of the municipalities that may have incurred any damage to work through their parish OEPs and then move that information over to the state office here at GOSEP. I would like to close by again urging our residents to stay vigilant. There's actually another storm system that is slated to be moving through Louisiana starting late Thursday night. This system at this time is forecasted to just be a heavy rain event, but you can see that even though, even the best forecasts sometimes can turn, and we urge our citizens to stay tuned to their local weather service and be vigilant. We again, I'll also say that this out there can go. We've got an unbelievable website that they can always go to, which is called virtualla.la.gov. It's virtualla.la.gov. On that site, you can find things like what parishes have declared emergencies, school closures, weather alerts, power outages. So again, it's a great resource that we would urge our citizens to utilize. Again, I believe we were extremely lucky by the grace of God that we did not have any more injuries than the ones that the secretary reported to us. We certainly will keep the families of those that were affected in our prayers, and we open it up to any questions that y'all may have at this time. Yes, ma'am.
I do have a question, not related to the severe weather. Could we get
We're only doing severe weather today.
Yeah, we'd be more than happy to answer any questions that any of you may have in relation to non-weather related events. But right now, we just want to concentrate on the parishes and the people that are affected in that particular area. But we'll make sure to get those questions to Kate, and we'll answer those. All right. Well, thank you so very much. And again, we please urge the residents to stay tuned for the weather event this week. Thank you.